Hi, welcome back to the Aligned Lifestylist. My name is Corey, and I'm so happy you're here. And I'm here with my beautiful guest again, Julietta Duvall, and I can't wait for you guys to meet her. But I want to give you a quick intro, which is something new that I decided to do because if you're somebody who's been here previously, you know that I wing it, change what I'm going to do every 5 seconds, which is part of my human design, which is what we are going to talk about today. But I was like, I need something that like totally tells what this is all about because this podcast covers a lot of different subjects and a lot of different amazing people that are helping the collective right now. So I asked my little friend ChatGPT, who I love, but sometimes I'm like, not so sure about that. I asked him to summarize what I believe this podcast is all about. And so what he gave me back is where science meets soul, healing becomes a journey back to who you truly are. This is a space for the bold, the curious, and those who know there's more to health than symptoms alone. Together, we'll explore the connection between your physical body, emotional well being, mental patterns, and spiritual nature through the lenses of human design, functional wellness, alternative healing, and the magical, mystical wisdom that has guided humanity for centuries. So, if you've ever felt like your body has been trying to tell you something and you're in the right place because those are the things we talk about is that let's get away from the traditional, oh, I have a pain or I don't feel very good. Your body's telling you you are out of alignment in some way, and it's not always just physical. So, we're here to question conventional thinking, honor our intuition, and uncover the root causes of imbalance so that you can live with more energy, purpose, and alignment. Because true healing isn't about becoming someone new, it's about remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. So, how do you like that, Julietta? Because,
That was beautiful. I love it, especially that part of like who the world told you you should be. And
yeah.
that's so true. I love it. Well done, ChatGPT. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. There are good things. I'm like a
Yes.
50-50 believer. So, um, I love that because we're going to talk about who you are here to be because we're going to talk about human design, which is my
Yay.
favorite. So, thank you
Absolutely.
for being back.
Thank you for having me
And
back.
I I'm so excited to talk about your design, just human design in general, and what you're doing with your business with human design. So tell us a little bit about you, kind of your life, your what you're doing right now, and what you're doing with human design, because I know that's evolved a little bit since the
Yeah.
last time you were here. So what's going on?
Yeah. So, very quick intro. I grew up in Mexico and I have been in the States for about 20 years. I have been in the airline industry for just as much, 20 years. And
Wow.
then I know it's a long time and it's hard to say that sometimes. But in 2020, just like everyone else, my world changed. We started homeschooling. My kids were it was a very uncertain time for everyone, but I had had the nudge of doing something different with my children prior to 2020. I feel like that's important now as I look back, but I didn't feel like I had the courage to go against the grain. I was tired. I was like, I was just doing the things. So 2021, human design comes into our lives, and I started blending human design first for our family because we were struggling with our dynamics. We were struggling with deciding how to go about this new lifestyle that we were trying to create, doubting. We weren't sure if it was the right path. My husband and I certainly were not on the same page. It took about two
Mhm.
years for us to be on the same page and to not fight or to not end up fighting once we had the conversations. Like we didn't know how to explore our own baggage without like stopping and like being just like holding space for each other. We didn't know how to do that.
I don't think
So
most people do.
yeah, so it was really hard though. So we began using human design and it was just amazing. It really just started with me though, because I knew I was essentially, I don't want to say the problem, but I was essentially getting triggered more often than not. And I knew that that I couldn't continue this journey with my children if I didn't get my act together. I was like, that is
Mm.
not okay. Um, so it helped me, like I was able to notice things. So So it just kind of got, it helped us. So I started writing about it and I started helping other people with it because I noticed that people were having the same challenges as they were transitioning into home education because more people have started doing that since 2020 than ever before. So I started doing that and it just kind of evolved. And, like you said, I began taking classes, I joined communities, and what I notice from the parent perspective is that it's in the homeschooling community is that it takes a while for parents to get to that point. It took me about a year and a half to notice that I was the one that needed the work, not my children. So
Ah, that's big.
yeah, what I see now is that a lot of people are beginning their journey into home education, but it doesn't hit right away that human design can help you at the very beginning because people are generally worried about curriculum, grades, and stuff like that. Um, so I'm just gonna holding, I'm in a holding pattern right now with that. My work is still out there, but I transition a little bit to do more in person because that is part of my design in like the four, I'm a 4/6 profile. So getting to know people and sharing with people everything that I do has felt a lot better. So I have been doing workshops. I started a business. It's more it was supposed to be a metaphysical business for like, B2B and B2C products
Mm,
with an oracle deck that I imported from the Netherlands because I loved it so much that I wanted to hear. But nowadays I'm like moving towards creating human design tools that are specific to help you on your journey to go along with your chart because we know the
mm,
chart, but then sometimes the chart feels just like a lot out there. So
yeah.
I'm slowly creating different tools and, support and stuff like that. But it's definitely all around human design. Like I just love it so much.
Oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I love our conversations because
Yeah.
I've been on Julietta's podcast, she's been on mine, and we could literally talk for hours about this
Yeah.
because we love it. And we have totally
Yes.
different charts. I mean, not totally different, but I mean, we all are different. But you're an emotional manifesting generator, 4/6.
Yes.
And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And you have the right angle cross of is it the Sleeping Phoenix?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to talk a little bit about that only because when I was looking a little bit at your chart just briefly, um, so many things. I love doing charts for people I've never met because then I can tell them something and they're like, how did you know that? Right. But
Yes.
when I look at people's charts who I know well enough to know who they are at the core, I'm like, this is totally her. So and you're living in your design. And so
Yeah.
one of the things that's really come across to me lately, and I'm curious if you've got this, because I've bought a lot of books, taken a lot of classes, and everyone
Yes.
perceives it in their own way. Even the way I do it is my own way, but I stick to the core what Ra Uru Hu had in his original book. But
Yes.
I take what works and what's easier to understand. But what I think a lot of people get lost in is they don't realize that they still have some autonomy in their intuition. Like it's not like, well, my human design says this and my human design says that, because then we get caught up in a whole other sort of programming, I think. And that's really come to me a lot in the last few days. So, what are your thoughts on that? Like when you work with somebody and you show them their human design or you're doing a family, like how like there's certain parts of it that I think like strategy and authority and your type, that's so true, right? If you can just
Yeah.
understand that. But I think a lot of people get caught up in like over analyzing it. Does that make sense? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's definitely true. And I think I was definitely like at some point, I feel like I was there too. But
Mm-hmm.
then I keep hearing, and the people that I've taken classes with, one of the first things that they've always said is like human design says one thing about you, but that doesn't make it true. So it
Mm-hmm.
is important for you to take the information and really take your time. That's why a lot of people call it an experiment because that's exactly what it is. You have to, well, you don't have to do anything, but experimenting with your type, your authority, how it feels. Does it feel good? Does it not? I find that I call human design like a gentle companion to life. It's like it really is something that you can look into if you're feeling like, I don't know, maybe this is true, maybe this is not, maybe, but and maybe something from the book will give you an idea to begin an experiment and then finding out a little bit more. But it doesn't
Mm,
have to be it doesn't know you the way you know yourself. But more
mhm,
often than not, we don't always know ourselves. So human design is a great way to bring you back in. And I think that's what you said at the in your beautiful introduction is about getting to know you for yourself, like inwards, and not what other
right.
people say, for sure.
Instead of what the world conditioned you to be. So taking that back to relationships and even what you talked about in the beginning with you and your husband and then with
Yes,
homeschooling, the conditioning tells us this is the man's role, this is the woman's role, this is how we interact. If they don't do this, then I'm going to be mad at this. And when you understand, same with your kids, right? Our kids are here to teach us massive lessons. But when we understand one another's human design, then we can go, oh, that's why he did that. That's why
yes.
he reacts that way when I do this. That's why it bothers me when he does this. And
Oh
when
my
you
God, yes.
understand how you're built, you can stop being angry at the person and go, oh, it's just the way our energetics play together. So, how do we make that work correctly?
Yeah, it's so true. It really is a beautiful thing. I find it so powerful and so peaceful because there's a lot of things that they're just what they are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the podcast that you and I did together is about your profile because my youngest one has the same profile. So I
Mm-hmm.
know that when he says something, there's something there that he's mirroring back to me, and it's bothering me sometimes for a reason because I know I need to look into it.
He's
But
not being disrespectful. He's just
no,
very like
no,
in your face.
no, he's totally not being disrespectful, but he's definitely hard for people to see when he comes out with those like, like fast snow, like fastball comments. And you're like,
Mm-hmm.
what, like what happened? So, but he is great. But all of those moments, honestly, they save me time, emotional heartache, because I know I don't have to it's not something that I have to fix. It's not something that there's nothing wrong with him. There's nothing wrong with me. It's just where we're at. So it
Mm-hmm.
really allows me to be present and just navigate whatever it is that we're doing. So yeah, I mean, honestly, I wish everyone would do it.
Me
That's my
too.
wish for everyone. That's my
Me
absolute wish.
too. I just think, and we've talked about this before, is if I would have known my children's
Yeah,
human design, I would have parented them different because
totally.
I parented all my kids the same, which came from a collective of how I was parented and how their
Yeah,
dad was parented.
yeah,
And so there was clashing there, right?
totally.
But I mean, I had a couple kids that were really sensitive and a couple kids that were really outgoing. And I was like, well, what's wrong with this? It's not that something was wrong. They were just being who they were, right? But as a
Yeah,
parent in the conditioning, I was like, well, why don't you have as many friends as this kid? And now I look at it on the outside and I watch people with their kids and I just cringe because I'm like, oh, I look at the damage that has been done to all of us unintentionally in most cases
totally. Yeah,
because nobody understood energetics.
yes. Nope, it's 100%. You're 100% right though. But there's no time like now, I feel like whenever human design shows up, and that is with any tool, maybe you have a great friend or a therapist or a coworker, whenever something comes into your life, it feels like it's the right moment because I know that if human design have come to me like let's say 3 years before it did, I
Hmm.
don't know that I would have resonated with the information the same way I did back when I first listened to that podcast about being a manifesting generator. I mean, it
Yeah.
was just exactly what I needed at that moment. That's why my work with unschooling and homeschooling, if it doesn't feel finished, but I feel like it's not really resonating with a lot of people I don't know. So I feel like it's going to be there for whenever it calls people. So that's why I'm not like done with it. I continue to bill because I know it's going to be helpful at some point. So I'm just gonna trust in that.
Well, and the cool thing about manifesting generators is, and some of the conditioning that's really kept us out of that, or kept us out of being true to ourselves, is that we pivot. It's our job to pivot and to be like, let me make this better, and let me do that. How can I go over here? And so we're collecting all of this stuff by all of our experiences that every manifesting generator I know has taken that all and that has a business has taken that all and created something with all of that knowledge, all
Oh
of
my
those
God,
pivots
yes.
and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it really feels like a soft pivot, though. It definitely feels like a soft way to not exit completely, but rather just like it's always there, and I'm happy building something else. And I think when I took a break from podcasting, I was like, it was because I was ready to pivot from unschooling, but I wasn't, and that the podcasting in that area didn't feel as satisfying as just a more directed into human design and how it helps people. I'm like, oh, it took a minute. I was like, I noticed a difference. I'm like, oh, that's what it was. It was just the pivoting. So it's pretty cool though.
So with what you're doing now with so you've got a new platform you're building, and tell us
Yeah.
about that. So what is your new podcast? What's that all about?
So beyond the workshop, it's a private podcast, and that is mostly a gentle companion for because I started doing human design workshops. So I did um I did a couple of in-person events because I knew that I needed to lean more into the in-person. My profile is a 4/6, and I found that the online space wasn't really hitting the spot for me anymore. The communities didn't feel right. Some of there's a lot of phone calls, there's a lot of like webinars and stuff like that. And it just didn't really, I was having a hard time scheduling those, like fitting them into my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing some in-person events. So I did a couple of farmers markets with books and my oracle cards. And that was like, and I love talking to the people. I loved it. But I noticed that the day was too long. So you've done events, right?
That's
Like
why
that?
I'm scared to do them, because I just don't have the energy to do a whole day. I
Yeah.
can't be
So
stuck in a spot. That's my problem. Like I will leave my table and like start walking around.
that That's so funny. You're so funny. That's exactly what I did. But I had a partner, I connected with a local person that also loved books. And so we did it together, and it was okay, but it was too long. Like my
Yeah.
kid stayed with my parents, and I just felt that by being gone the whole day, it was just not good for me, and it didn't feel good for them either. I also did a metaphysical fair, so that was specific. There were astrology people, sound people, so it was very geared towards like the metaphysical and stuff like that. And I did have some good feedback there, but again, it was a whole day, and I'm like, I can't do
Yeah.
that. So then something came to me and I was like, well, I've always wanted to do workshops. I am a workshop queen. As I'm
Yeah.
Nanny Jenny, every time I want to learn something, I look for a workshop because that is the easiest way for me to get my toes wet and to know whether I
Mhm.
want to continue or not. So I found a store here in Michigan, and the owner is a reflector. And it was like
Oh.
completely, yeah, it was like completely it was amazing how we got together, we emailed stuff, and I did two workshops at her shop, and then I'll be having two more next month, and then two more in
Nice.
September. So it's just gonna gradually building, and then my business is now one of my businesses because I have more than one.
Oh,
Sorry.
true manifesting
Yeah,
generator.
true manifesting generator, that is for sure. So my business is called Soul Journey Supplies, and I just got this shirt actually. And I even have, so
Oh, I love it.
this is part of our logo, and then I had my
What does
design.
that say?
It says 4/6 emotional manifesting generator
Oh, oh, I
because
love that.
I
So
know. And
now when
then
you're out in public, the people that see you know how to act with you.
yes, I'm like, if you know, you know. So you come talk to me. Come talk to me. And
I
then
love it.
in the back, it has a body graph too. So this is like the first, I know I love it. So like
You're so creative.
it was the first version of it all because there's a lot of setup behind the scenes to be able to do this. So I'm just experimenting with it. But without the knowledge of human design about experimenting, pivoting, and from a manifesting generator perspective, having to go back to mastery and having to go back to slow down, to slow down and
Hmm.
relearn some things, I wouldn't be able to do this. So I'm doing workshops. I'm building this with more products. I have some journal ideas, guided journals, and all that stuff. So there's a lot in the pipeline. But as I
Hmm.
manage Jenny, I have to do one thing at a time and be very selective on where the energy goes because I have an open head too.
Well, that's what I was
So
just looking over here for. I'm like, oh, that open head's like, whew. I did,
yes.
I did, I did.
Yeah, come to me.
Yeah.
So I've been really not struggling, but I was having a hard time trying to pinpoint where to concentrate the energy. So I have been doing a lot of journaling about that and trying to find out more about the open head and just kind of, getting into a habit of not starting something new all the time and rather continuing what I already have.
Yeah.
So there you
Well,
go,
what you've kind
Julieta.
of done.
You sound like a
Yeah.
grown-up, Julieta.
You're
Yeah,
grown, you're
so
all grown up. Oh my gosh, I went to it, my psychic friend a few weeks ago, and do you know what she said? She
what
said one of the first things she said to me is your spirit guides keep saying Corey doesn't know what she wants to be when she grows up. And I'm like, oh
ah,
my gosh, I say that all the time. Like I'm still figuring out what I'm gonna be when I grow up.
that's so
Which
funny.
is a manifesting generator,
It
right?
is.
So
It
it's like,
is.
today I'm going to do this, and tomorrow I might be living in another country. Who knows, right?
Yes,
So,
who knows? You never know. But thankfully, like some of these reflections and the ability to slow down has been helpful into trying to manage that because I was feeling, honestly, just like 2 weeks ago, I was feeling super scattered. Like I felt like I was like losing just my grounding. And it was
me too.
hard. So I had to slow down to really think about it and look at it and feel into it. So yeah.
I think I love that you brought that up because um, I have felt that. I think there's an energy about that, but I think as a manifesting generator, because we like have all the, and then I have the one in my profile, the deep dive. So I'll be
Yes.
like, oh, I like that. Let me just take 6 days and deep dive on that. And then
Yeah.
it becomes something I just don't really do anything with. And so it's been interesting to me. I almost think I was somewhere with some friends, and one of my friends was like, oh my gosh, you have the worst ADD. And I'm like, I don't have ADD. Like, it's not ADD. But I think what the technology has done to me as a manifesting generator is just, I often wonder if people are misdiagnosed with
Oh,
ADHD because
totally.
they just have this energy that we have, right? So it's just,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that we're like, oh, let me do this and let me go over here and I'm all over the
Yeah.
place. That has come out very unfocused in the last several months. And so I feel
Oh,
you on
yeah.
that. And so I
Yes.
love it's the slowing down
Yeah.
and going, okay, wait a second. Because if you looked at my office right now, I have 3 notebooks and a day planner over here. I have 3 notebooks and some printed things on the floor. I have 2 human design books right here. And so it's like, okay, get a grip, lady.
Oh my goodness. I can relate a
You
hundred, a
relate?
thousand
Okay, good.
percent. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yes, I sure can. Yes.
But getting what you just said, going back and writing down and reflecting, and like
Yeah.
me, the big word for me, right, is simplify. Take all this stuff that you have and simplify it because it's driving me nuts.
Yes. It's really hard though uh to break it down. So for me, I had to make a list of priorities, right? And just
Hmm.
like your word is simplify. For me, spending time with my children, and I think I call my people because I include my husband. I think my children are definitely important, the most important thing, because that is why I have been slowly switching from flying into being home. That's why I chose not to do the markets because I wanted to spend time with them. So my parents, that is kind of what we're navigating right now. My dad retired. My parents
Mm.
need a lot of support. My husband's mom is moving in with us next weekend.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
so
got a lot going on.
we do. So I had to like really stop to think, so what's important? Who is included in that? And how is your energy going to help that? So I had to let go of a lot of things that I wanted to do. Like I love bookbinding, but I'm like, there's no way in this moment, in this particular time and moment that I can do that because
Yeah.
I don't have a space. So it's just maybe will come later in another time. Right now I'm parting with a lot of I like making cards for people,
Hmm.
with like stamps and all of that. Like I have tons of stuff on
Me
that,
too.
but I'm going to have to really take a moment to take a look at them and see what feels right to keep and what doesn't. So there's a lot of like letting go of things that
Hmm.
are not important right now. It's not that they're not important overall. They're just not the priority right now.
Yeah.
And I also answer the question because of my open identity. The question that grounds me is like, what feels the most like me right now?
Mm.
Because
That's good.
if I don't answer that question, I'll go on a tangent. And I'm just like, oh,
Well, yeah. So,
yeah,
well, the anger and the frustration comes up.
yeah,
So, anybody listening or watching that's a generator or a manifesting generator, it's important to not do things just because you can. And sometimes that includes the things that we love to do, right? We have this energy to go, and manifesting generators are called time benders because they tend to get like Julietta is the most advanced time bender that I know because she works a regular job, she has a business, she has two kids. You're managed, and then you have all these like every time you post something, I'm like, do you sleep, lady? Because I like I have so I'm in that same boat where I'm like, well, I want to do this and I want to do this, but it's like you can't do all that right now. So
no,
just knock it off, right?
yeah,
And but the old me, and you'll have to tell me if this feels similar to you, would have just been angry at everyone around me because you were getting in my way and you were
yes.
stopping me from doing what I needed to do, and then I was resentful and pissed off at everyone. And now I can just go, okay, get a grip on reality. You can't do all those things right now.
That you're, yes, that's exactly right. And that's exactly what happened this morning because so I finished a 3-day trip. It was a really high value 3-day trip this morning.
Ugh.
I got home at 2 in the morning, right?
Ugh.
But before, so one of the practices that I'm starting out is what happens when I'm on the road, it feels like an open field to begin new ideas because I'm so inspired
Mm,
by people around me. So I
mm-hmm.
start getting all this feedback and I'm like, holy smokes. I could open it's just massive. So I finally found some grounding into witnessing, rather witnessing the inspiration, but from an
Mm,
outside, from like just I'm a witness. I'm not a participant of that inspiration because that doesn't belong to me. So I'm
mm-hmm.
just like looking at it and then what's possible. I mean, it could be that maybe someone wants to start a the what did I one of the ideas that I had over the weekend was you know what chilaquiles are? It's like a
Yeah,
Mexican
oh, I love
breakfast.
chili aquiles. Oh,
Oh yeah,
yes. When
so
I
I
go to
was like,
Mexico, that is like my jam.
yes, I was like, oh my God, someone should have I should
You
start
said it correctly. That's why I was like, what? What are they?
what
What?
yeah, I was like, I should start a chilaquiles card and I could do like,
Oh,
a vegan card. And I'm like, okay, Julieta, no, 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 no. So I was like, okay, so I'm witnessing the inspiration. And then, but I did know that I do with an open head, a list do works best for me. So I
yes.
wrote a list of what I needed to do today. And over the next couple of days, because there's a lot of moving pieces, furniture, all of that stuff. So I wrote it down and I got
Yeah.
home, took a shower, went to bed. I woke up, had coffee, and I was like, okay, I'm ready. And then my son woke up and he said, well, do you have any ideas for today? And I was like, well, I said, well, I said I had some plans about I wanted to clean some things and I need to clear this table because I think we're gonna part with one of our tables to make some space for Grandma Lynn. And then he said, well, wouldn't it be great to go to the beach today? It sounds like a great day to go to the beach. And
Oh, what a cutie pie.
I like, it was like, I was like, I stop, because like you said, I picture myself going through this house like a roadrunner and trying to do all the things. So I knew that I had to go to the beach, but I didn't have to, right? I
Mm.
could have said no, but I wanted to because I knew that he needed that, and I actually needed it too.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
so cool. And
yeah,
just the communication. I don't think a lot of people have that kind of communication where their child says, well, what are your ideas for today? Well, I'd
yeah.
like to do this. I mean, that's really incredible.
Yeah, it was super cool though. So we talked about it and I really once we got there, but just like you, I probably a couple of years ago would have been frustrated and angry that I was taking off that path that I had in my head. Because
Yep.
we get so locked into what we want to do that anything else outside of us feels just like a distraction. And I
Yep.
was like, it's not. So we did. We went to the beach. We floated. We called our friends. She came with her children. We had a fantastic conversation. And then I knew I wanted to be here for this. So there was some things that I needed to prepare. So I told him, I said, right around 2:30, I'm gonna start packing up and then we're gonna go. And he's like, sure, no problem. 2:30 came around. I started packing our beach. I'm like, all right, it'll be about 10 more minutes. And then I said, well, I'm ready to go. And he was like, okay. And he
Oh,
dragged the
wow.
wagon. Yeah, it was really
I
perfect.
feel I feel like because you understand the way your kids operate and you understand where, as a manifesting generator, you can get in that space where, look, I'm busy and everybody's in my way.
Yes.
Like, I'm like blinders on, going straight forward because I had that feeling when I got back in town this week because I'm like, I need to clean the basement. I need to get rid of all these clothes. I'm like, that's how I get. I'm just like, screw everyone, get out of my way, this is getting done. And
Yeah.
what I hear in what you just said is this darling little adorable child, how old is he?
7.
7, is being
Mm-hmm.
fully seen,
Yeah.
right? But because you are using this in your home, it's teaching your kids also to come to you in the correct way so that it's not like I want to go to the beach. Do you know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so that whole thing, like, think how peaceful homes would be if there was that kind of, if people were working on that, which is why I want everyone to understand this incredible human design.
Yeah, I really worked perfect though, but I know that I would have been really frustrated if I had if I didn't have the ability to deviate from it. But I knew that if that's why I said we were playing emotional Tetris because he needs but he needed something. So I'm like, so my job is to make sure that everyone's needs are met. It's just sometimes it happened in a different order. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like, yeah. So I needed the beach too, just as much as he
Yeah.
did, but I did not know it. But so we were
Uh,
driving back, I was like, that was a great idea. I'm like, I truly needed the beach too. So thank you. And he was like, oh, you're welcome. And I'm like, yeah.
oh
I
my
said thank
gosh.
you. So yeah, so we
I
drove
love
back
it.
and I came home and I dropped him off and then I picked up something else and came home again and got ready and stuff. So now everyone's like at a good space and then we'll
Mm-hmm.
reconvene in a few hours, in a little bit to continue to do what my list hat on. So, which is exactly why I made the list because right now, if I would have done this and then I go back into doing stuff, then I probably would be a little scattered because there is a lot of
Yes.
moving pieces happening right now.
Okay,
So,
so with your open head, would you say that lists are majorly big for you? Because
yeah,
that feeling of being scattered. I have a defined head center, so but I have the scatteredness. I don't even know where it comes from sometimes. Just this lack of focus. And so what you
yeah,
just said really resonated because it's when you have a plan, then you don't get frustrated and angry and all the things because it's all set out, right? Versus, oh, I'm re-entering back into the house and where are all the things I was going to do? Yeah.
Yes, I think so. What I've been working on really is so I have an open head, an open ego, will center, and an open identity. And I call it a trifecta of sorts because it's a very
Yes.
powerful, the not self of each center. For the open head is thinking, that I'm supposed to do all the things and thinking about things that do not matter. The open will
Mm-hmm.
center is about self-worth, thinking that I'm supposed to be doing to prove myself. And the
Mm-hmm.
open identity wanting that fixed path that will give me trying to get that fixed path just so I could feel better about
Mm-hmm.
the oh no, because it's just you just don't know. So when I combine those three, I find that, and then you add in my emotional wave. I mean, it's like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so I think, yeah, so I've been trying to work on that. So the open identity, the question that grounds me is who do I feel like? What feels like me the most right now, and then that kind of guides. So right now what it feels like me the most is a mom that's present, that does activities, that we go out, because I love it. Like I love going out, I love going places, and a person that is supportive of my parents and my husband as he's also navigating his own journey with his mom, and a person that continues to share human design, but they're kind of like in that order. So
Mm-hmm.
based on that, then I go through the open head, like what needs to happen, what's important, what needs to be completed, tangible, because I could get caught up in saying, I need to make 10 social media posts. And in
Mm-hmm.
reality,
Mm-hmm.
that's not needed. Like
Mm-mm.
if we think about it, that is absolutely not needed. At least not for me. It doesn't
Yeah.
convert. I don't have conversion from my social media.
Yeah.
I
Me neither.
Yeah, the people that have invested in workshops or private sessions with me have come from very different channels. But I can tell you that they
Mm-hmm.
all have come from having met before, having conversations. So for me to say my social media needs to be an absolute priority, it would be a lie because that's not
Yeah.
true. And
Yeah.
then, the open will center, do I need to do something to prove myself to my parents or to my children or to society, or is it no, absolutely not. So it allows me to like this trifecta. It's super powerful, and I think if I can let it for many many years, I probably let it run my life. But
Mm-hmm.
while it is where I am powerful to other people by having this ability to express in a different way and to amplify the energy, it doesn't have to run my life. So
Yeah.
yes, I truly feel like a grown up here. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my gosh.
Thank
Good girl.
you.
I'll bring you a crown.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So,
A
yeah,
grown-up crown. Well, when you were
yes,
saying all that, it's so awesome because I struggle with the social media posting stuff. Yes, some people's designs are aligned to that, but for
yes,
the majority, it is conditioning. It's
yes,
anytime you're told you have to do this a specific way to get this, that is conditioning.
yes,
Because it's different for everyone, and it's so powerful to understand just those small aspects of your human design and how
totally.
your energy works with those centers. Because with your everything that you just explained, plus your incarnation cross and your four in your six,
Yeah,
you're here to have interactions with people because that's you're here to share the ideas, to be like, oh, here, I got this great idea, I expanded
mm,
on it, this is a faster, easier way to do it. Boom, here you go. Now you don't have to go through all the crud to figure that out. That's
yes,
literally so many parts of your design. And
yes,
so how are you doing with the six? Because for anybody that's new, the line six has three parts, and you're in your on the roof part, right?
yes.
So does
Hmm.
that feel frustrating to you to be on the roof? Because I feel like you're just doing your thing, and you're like, it's all just going to come together when it's ready. Like, what does that?
Um,
I don't, the on the roof thing confuses me on how people feel because I don't have that.
yeah, honestly, so I think it felt a little bit challenging at first because so the four is about the networking, right? The four is about
Mm-hmm.
wanting to be out there. But the six, that,
Community.
community and just like getting to know people and trying, that's why I think I've always wanted to open a bookshop because I just want people to come to me and tell me all their
Mm-hmm.
business. Like I just absolutely love it. Like sign me
Mm-hmm.
up. But the six wants to reflect. And I have probably hundreds, not thousands, but I do have probably 100 notebooks to reflect that because whenever I get into this deep emotion, and the most recent example is this navigating the what they call the sandwich generation, having my parents how much help they need because they actually need a lot more than they have in the past, and then having
Mm-hmm.
my children, so we're kind of in the middle. They people
Yeah, I've
say
heard
that.
that.
So navigating that from the roof perspective, it's all about finding out what frustrates me. Does it make me angry? Why does it make me angry? And then I just write it down. I honestly, I go
Mm,
through, this isn't like, it isn't meant to be like, I don't know, something that's going to be maybe public at some point, but it helps me kind of like pull the start somewhere with the most obvious feeling, which is like frustration and
mm-hmm.
anger for us, and then keep tugging at it until I reach the root. And what I find is
Mm,
I find so much peace once I do that. So the four wants to go out and do its thing, have workshops, go to markets and talk to people and create and all of that. And the six is like, no, we just need some time to journal, to write, to be in peace. So it feels like I'm
mm-hmm.
going back and forth, but I'll be 44 this month. So it feels, oh no, next month, I'm sorry. So I'll be 44 next month. So it feels like I'm like right in the middle. So I feel like I got the hang of it almost, I'm like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I just noticed that, but it's really pretty because I feel, I feel emotionally stable. Like
Mm,
I feel I feel the waves. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not like they're gone, but I feel them. I know what to do. And movement is very important because it dissipates, it makes the feelings dissipate because the
mm-hmm.
feelings aren't real. I was like, holy smokes. I'm like, what is this? So yeah, so it has helped me. I do journal a lot, like a lot.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think everyone, I mean, even for me, that's a big, it's processing, right? So if
Yep.
I'm frustrated, it actually gives you your own answers. And I
Yes.
don't know how to explain that, but when I have clients do that, I'm like, just start writing. Start writing, and the solution to your problem will be right there,
Yep.
halfway, two-thirds of the way down the page, because it's just, it needs to be taken out of your body, right? It needs to be
Yes.
processed. And for some of us, if we're going to say something truthful that's mean and angry, we don't want to say it to the person, but just
Yeah.
putting it on the paper really actually makes us see the bigger picture, which oftentimes we're part of the problem too, right? So there's just there's so
Yeah.
much to so many things. So I love that what you said about the six when you're in that rooftops part, because a lot of people will say to me, so what, I'm just supposed to sit and do nothing. There's never a
No.
sit and do nothing because that's what your strategy and authority is for, right? But it's observing. It's like the way I see six is like every single person that I've done that's a six, they're very authentic. There's something about them that it's already in them to show their authenticity. They maybe aren't
Yeah.
very brave about it, but it's just the way they dress. It's just like,
Yes.
oh, I know that this would be, I could buy this for you and know you would love it because you just have this authenticity that's different in the way you dress. But it's not just that, it's other things. But I think that as a six, people get kind of hung up on the just sit back and waiting, the same way projectors would get hung up on the, well, what, I just have to wait to be invited. It
To be
doesn't mean that
invited. Mm-hmm.
that you just sit around, because then you don't do anything, right? It's just learning
Correct.
the way your energy works in that waiting.
Oh my
So, and
goodness,
that
yes.
strategy and authority.
Yeah, and it's the same thing for us, like to respond to stuff. It's like it doesn't mean that you have to wait for anything, for something that comes. It's like responding isn't passive. So if I was
Mm-hmm.
right now, if I was thinking about what was the latest stuff? I don't know. I've been thinking about a lot of things though, but about our, our house and how it's going to be laid out. Then I just start looking at options of what's out there. And then, I'm responding to something. Is this something that we want to do now or later? We realize it's not for now. So we're going to put that in the back burner. But it's not something responding isn't passive. You just kind of put yourself in the environment to see what choices come up and then you just go
Mm-hmm.
take it from there. But yeah,
Well,
it's been really nice.
it's it's crazy how when you understand the responding thing, like I'll have a thought, and usually if I put it on paper or I say it to somebody, the
Yes.
universe will come back and be like, "Yes, do that." So like this morning I was telling you before, I was listening to these two different podcasts, and I've been tweaking a little bit with incorporating some astrology in with human design, even though it's
Oh, I
part
love
of
it.
it, but
Mm-hmm.
explaining it a little bit better, just
Yes.
mine just a little bit. And then I don't know, there were some other things that the whole morning I was like, ping, 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 ping. These are all these things telling me that this is a yes. Do I know how that's going to look yet? No, I don't.
No.
But had I not gotten quiet, because here's the thing, I woke up this morning, it's Monday morning, I'm like, oh, I have all the things. I just got back into town. I got to do this. And I chose to literally listen and multitask and do two things, get those podcasts listened to, which I hadn't planned on listening to, but
Yeah.
all of the answers came. And that's one of the big things I always love to share with people is if you don't make the time to listen and
Yes.
watch for the pings, you'll miss them
You'll miss
because you're
them.
getting them all the time, all day long, every
Yeah.
day. And
Yeah.
once you understand the way your energy gets them, you won't, it'll be so much easier to be like, nope, that's just not for me. Like I had to cancel some stuff this week because I was just like, you know what? If my energy's not in the great space, then it's not going to be effective for anybody else.
Exactly. And there's no harm done there. It's just you're just doing what's right for you, but we're so conditioned to not do it, to do it for other people that
Mm-hmm.
it's just so hard to say the words though. But I mean, I wouldn't change it any other way. There's a lot of communication that I mean, it has improved my ability to communicate just for especially with my parents because they are from an older generation, so communication isn't really a big thing. So I've been experimenting with how I say things and making sure they know that it's not because something is wrong, it's just kind of the way I'm wired in order
Mm-hmm.
to be able to help out. So I've been texting my parents before I come back. So I'm working right now. I'm flying Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So roughly on Saturday night, I will text everyone. I'm like, hey, I'm going to be home this week, but I only have this days available. Do we need to do something? Is there something you want to do to try to like help myself? Because if I just
Mm-hmm.
let it go, my parents will call me and expect me to do something in that moment. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, no, 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 no. I don't work like that anymore. Like I used to. I used to just drop
Oh,
everything
right.
and then just go. And I'm like, and so we've had some um conversations around that. And I think everyone, it's just, helping everyone out, I guess.
I think
Yeah.
that's a great example. I think that because even with that open will center, so many of us are trying to prove our
To
worth,
prove,
right? And
yes.
so that dropping and go, well, I got to go do this. And it comes up in every aspect of our lives. And
Yes.
so the cool thing is exactly that, the communication. This is how I'm going
Yes.
to communicate. These are my boundaries. My issue with that as a heretic, a line five, is my delivery is not very nice.
Uh
So I cannot even tell you how many people have said to me, your delivery is really harsh. Like it's an ongoing feedback that I get. And I like
yeah.
will think through things and be like, okay, how can I say this in the nicest way possible? And I've just had to learn that they get to take it or leave it, that I know that what didn't come from a mean place,
Yes.
but it's how my energy works, right? And sometimes I
Yeah.
have to say things that people don't want to hear. But like we were talking about with your son, when I was talking about my niece, they just say things and they're really in your face because they're fives, right? So they're just saying it because they're observing it, right? Or they,
Yes.
And but it comes across so mean because we weren't brought up for with
No.
truth,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
Communication includes telling the truth. And
Yes.
so when someone's being truthful doesn't always mean they're being mean. And that's
No,
been a
yeah.
big struggle with understanding my five is why does everybody think I'm mean? It's
No, I so true. I think my struggle for that is like I have an emotional authority, so they my emotions, if I'm like too wrapped up in them, will make my delivery harsh. So
mm-hmm.
I have to really kind of make a mental pass of my emotions before I can speak. Now,
Smart.
once, which is really, it's really hard though, because I think one of my channels is about speaking in the moment. And I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I do know what to say sometimes, but it doesn't always feel like the best for me either because my emotions are, it's like a lens, and I sometimes
Mm-hmm.
can't see clearly with
Mm-hmm.
them. And I'm like, I don't know if I would have waited, I maybe would have said something different. So I don't know. So it's still a
Mm-hmm.
work in progress, but I don't, yeah, my emotions definitely I need to check them sometimes though. I get too involved sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
that's a good way. Okay, so last thing I want to just ask you about then with your design with that emotional wave. So your authority is emotional.
Yeah.
And what you just said was really a good point because oftentimes we're forced to respond in the moment, right? So that might be
Yes.
making a decision, but it might be in a conversation. Like, I have to respond to this, and it's not going to come across the same way depending on where I'm at in that emotional wave and what's going on in my life right now. So, how do you manage the emotional wave and how strict are you with that? Like, do you use that emotional wave rule with small decisions or just mostly big decisions like making decisions based on your high and low in your wave, like you need to be
So,
neutral. For those of you that are new, emotional authority needs to be in a neutral space to make especially big decisions, but what does that look like in your mind, like in your life?
oh, that's such a great question. So, yes, and then clarity for us never really comes. So it really is just about 80% sure. Like that's it.
Oh
That's all you get.
wow.
We'll never get that sacral clarity, like a true yes or no. It's just like,
Mm-hmm.
maybe. So so what I do, so there are three types of emotional waves. I have the individual emotional wave, and what that is there is no rhyme or reason for it to come.
Mm,
Like my wave does not get affected by other people per se, it just comes. What I have
mm,
noticed, which is essentially why I did my hair scan with you, a little while back, was that what I noticed is that when I stopped drinking about 2 years ago, and then I stopped eating meals from the airplane. For anyone out there, like I was eating airplane meals for like every day or like twice a day because that's what I do. That's where I work. So if you do it once every now and then, it's not terrible. But I was doing it every day.
mm.
So I noticed that those factors made my emotional waves extra high and extra low. And
Have eating those foods.
yes.
Yeah, that makes
So
sense. Yeah.
yeah, so when I was drinking and when I was eating the food, it made my emotional wave extra high and extra low. So I play with that a lot because they would come in really hard. Like I would
Mm,
be crying, I would be angry at people, especially like right before I got my period. I would get really angry. So I started
mm,
playing with the moon, with the cycles, like where is it? Like I needed to do something because I was not in a good place either. And not necessarily with everyone. It was mostly like with the safe people. So, which is my husband. So I'm like, it
mm,
isn't fair that I am nice to almost everyone else, even when I feel like this, but then he gets the short end of the stick. So I was like, that is
mm,
not fair. So we started, so we had really big conversations on that, him and I, because he's also an emotional authority. So we like,
mm,
walk through it together. So what I do now, it does come, but when the low comes, what I do is I just watch a movie. I watch a sad movie so I could cry it out. and just be done with it. Because all they needs, so the melancholy that comes from that individual wave, it just wants to create. It just wants to do something. It wants to move. It doesn't want to get stuck in it. So if I before I would just be like, why is this happening? Why there's no reason for it. It just
Mm.
shows up. So that's where I had my station for crafting. Like I would do a little something, I would write, I would draw, I would paint. I would just do something little to help it move along. And then I would
Hmm.
journal too, because usually there was something that could be explored through the
Mm-hmm.
lens of that melancholy. So so that's the way. For the practical spaces, the rules that I have now for myself is I don't make any purchases until 72 hours. Like if I
Mm.
think of something, so what else? What am I thinking about? So I went to a sound class to, like an introduction to sound healing.
Okay.
And it was so fun. I had the best time. And I was looking on a website trying to buy drums and gongs and all kinds of bowls. And I'm like, I was like, okay, Julieta, 72 hours, that's your rule. Do not break it. So, and sure enough, 72 hours later, I still liked them, but I didn't feel the need to purchase them at that moment, right? Because I'm like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to, that isn't what I'm doing right now. So there's really no point. Um,
Yeah.
so 72 hours for that, for any kind of big purchase decisions. We also sleep on them, my husband and I. Anything that happens with the businesses that requires us to make a decision, whether it's
Mm.
to, talk to a person or all of that, then we talk about it. We share about what the possibilities that we have, and then we sleep on it, and then we come back
Mm.
together next day. There is definitely a lot of circling around.
Mm-hmm.
So there's been a lot of conversation about his mom moving in, so we talk about the feelings, the emotions, and it, but some things, they're just happening. So yeah, so we're just kind of navigating that, but we go through the ups and downs. So we're finding out that movement, he goes for walks a lot. Movement as an emotional authority, it's going to be just extremely
Mm.
helpful for anybody, because it'll help you move the emotions, and then there will be some sort of clarity after that. But usually, if I've been thinking about it, like bookbinding, I've always been thinking about it. I just go and do it because it's just in the moment. But I know that I've wanted to do it before, so it didn't really take much for me to invest whatever the class cost. So that's why I'm a workshop queen, because I just
Mm.
love introductory classes, because that helps me move forward in my decision making process.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, and I think because you're a manifesting generator, you still have a lot of that sacral. You have the sacral.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. It's just not always correct until you feel through it, right? So it's easy because I have that sacral and it is a hell yes, or
Or
it's a
no.
a lot of
Yeah.
times it's a maybe more than anything. But it's been so helpful to learn that. But what you just said about your relationship is cool because if one of you was a sacral and one of you was an emotional
Emotional.
authority, that's where there's a lot of friction because one of them's like, "Oh, no, we're not going to buy that car today because I got to sleep on it." And the other one's like, "My gut's telling me right now." And a
Right
lot of
now.
times you'll come into the same, like if the sacral's using their authority correctly, that emotional will usually come to the same decision, but you got to give them the time to come to it. And then there's the next level of understanding it. If it's meant for you, it will wait for you, right? Like I
Yes.
tell my clients all the time with a job, if you're an emotional authority and someone tells you, I need you to make a decision right now, the best thing you can do is say nope, because if it's still waiting there, you know it was for you. And if they gave it to someone else, then now you are being protected, right?
Yes,
So it's
absolutely.
such a cool gift to have that emotional authority because your conditioning has taught you, tell me now, got to know now, make a decision
Yes.
now. And then we make so many bad purchases and bad
Oh
decisions
my
and get into
goodness.
trouble because we jump on things that were not meant for us.
Yeah, it's so true though. But
Yeah.
having a sacral authority is so important because, and I love how you said like the clutch, someone is ready to and someone is not. Because we went to Chicago and we were having pizza at this Giordano's, which is like the deep dish Chicago pizza.
Mm,
And
yummy.
because it's such a popular restaurant, they have a photographer that walks around and takes pictures of the families, and then
Oh, cute.
they have a station where you can pick up the picture. So here comes this man, right? Young man, super nice. So he had his camera. He's like, "Can I take a picture?" My husband and I were both like, and both my kids, they're like, "No, no, thank you." It was
Are they
fast. I mean,
sacral? Or
yes,
both of
yes.
your kids?
Yes, they are both sacral. And then so
Wow.
he's like, "Gonna take your picture." My husband and I were still like thinking, feeling into that. And my kids said, "No, thank you, no." And then he was looking at us because we were the adults. He was looking at
Like
us
your kids
too.
are gonna tell you?
Yeah, like to override that decision. And we're like, and still, my husband and I, there was no words that were exchanged between us, but we just looked at each other and we both were just like, eh. And then my younger son said again, "No, we're okay, thank you." And he just kind of waved them away. And I was like, "No, we're okay, thank you." And he left, but he looked at us because we were supposed to make the decision. But I knew I didn't want the picture either. So, but my
Yeah.
kids kind of got there a lot faster. My husband and I think
Super cool.
yeah, even after we were done, I think we were still wondering whether we should have gotten the picture or not. Like,
Mm,
even after we were done with
yeah,
the meal. Yeah.
really
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's just such a great tool for kids to have because and I don't do work with kids like you do, and that's why I want to make this clear is that if you can teach your kids from a young age how their energy works,
Yeah.
it will prevent them from terrible friendships. It will prevent them from getting into activities that aren't meant for them. It
Yes.
just, there's so many things that if they know that from a young age and you can
Yeah.
teach them how to use it, it'll shape their future in a totally different way
Oh,
and
absolutely.
have them on track instead of
Yes.
what we did was go through all the bajillion things.
Yeah.
They'll be better. They'll have an easier time staying on their path.
Yeah, because they're choosing accordingly to what they know is true for themselves.
Right.
They're
It's
not
just an
choosing.
internal
Yep.
knowing. And
It's an
yep.
internal knowing. Yep. They're not choosing for other people. If
Mm-hmm.
you're able to, if you're able to navigate that, because sometimes when kids do not choose how we parents think they should choose, then that's also a different story and a different things to work on. But if you're able to support their decision making and just check in with the body, their authority, and how their energy works, then I think they're golden. So
Yeah. And I
yeah.
think kids, it's already born into them. It's what's
Yes.
programmed out of them, right? And so if
Yes.
you can learn as a parent to trust that, learn their design, trust that, because it's already there, and they can teach you so much because they have that knowing that we've been
Yes.
conditioned out of,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
So, like
Oh,
going to the beach on the day when you were going to try to be crazy women and get your house all together.
oh my gosh. Yes. But you know what? I feel so much better because we did that. Now
Yeah.
I can slowly get into this mode of all the things that I have to move around, declutter, put away, give away. It'll be a more peaceful experience now, right now. So I
Yeah,
feel
you
great
got some
about it.
grounding in. You got a little
Mm-hmm.
grounded. Well, thank
Yes.
you for being here. And I would you please share how we can reach you? We'll put that in the show notes. Um, who's your ideal client? Like, are you still working a lot with families? So just tell us how we can find you and what you can help with,
Yeah.
and all your
So
other goodies.
I know. So thank you so much. So yeah, so I still work with families. My podcast and my website for that is theunschoolingLifestyle.com. You can find us there. All of our information is there. I write most of my reflections that are about and around the kids. I kind of write them there because I know it's hard
Okay.
for us people coming to this world. Then, Soul Journey Supplies does have a Shopify website, but honestly, it doesn't have a domain yet, so I don't know how you can get there from my Instagram, which is Julietta Duval, and then you'll find
Okay.
the links there. Everything is still a work in progress. as a Manny Jenny. I am trying to build a strong foundation, so that's why it's taking a little bit more time because I gotta go back to mastery right now. Um, yeah, so there's a lot in the back end that I'm doing right now. But if you go to our Instagram, just you can see our journey. As far as ideal client, that's such a great question because people say they tell you to find your ideal client. And I think my ideal client is someone that's ready to go deep because I do want to know all of your business. Like I want to know all of it. And I also have a lot of ideas. So my gift is about sharing with you that you don't have to be who you were told to be. That there are so many options. My gift is to bring those options to the table
Hmm.
through the lens of human design with the practicality of experiments on a daily basis. So
I love that.
whether you are maybe 25 or 45, obviously, I'm from a Mexican background, so I feel like I can relate to people based on who the experiences that I've had. So I grew up in a Mexican household. I homeschool, unschool my kids. I travel with my kids. I have been in the aviation industry for 20 years. So if those worlds are part of what you do, then probably would maybe a good match.
Yeah,
Um,
I think that's great.
so
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, and I mean, I think everyone needs to know human design, so that is a little bit of a loaded question. Yeah. And the thing that I love that you said just lastly is when you said, I don't know the domain name yet, but it's here. I love that you're just doing it because most people are like, oh, I have to get all the ducks in a row and I got
yeah,
to get this. And as a manifesting generator,
that's just not
just
it.
get the ball rolling
Yeah,
and it'll come together if it's going to, but you got to get it out there and stop sitting on it. Like I have several clients that are starting businesses and they're waiting to get their ducks in a row and
no,
I'm like, stop waiting. You just start because you're going to change it and evolve anyway. Like I bet you
yes.
you're not doing the same thing right now that you were doing a year ago. I'm not.
No, I mean, certainly not. Like you were
Yeah,
both
so
like,
get it
no.
going.
Did you
We're
see
like,
how we
oh no.
both just like,
Well, and
no, that's not what we're
you're still
doing.
flying. So
Yeah, I'm still
next.
flying, but I feel like there's a reason for it. I'm like, so I see it every time though. It's still part of it, but it is something that I don't have to, but it's something that I think I'm doing in order to transition full time into this. Yeah, so I really just get started. You will
Well,
evolve,
yeah.
but I am so happy that I did because without starting into the homeschooling, unschooling, platforms or world, I would not be able to sit here with you and share about human design because that's how I got here. So
I love
you are
that.
starting something new, but it may not be the end of the road. It's just the beginning. So it's definitely going
Yeah.
to look a lot different by the time you get a few things under your belt. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think I
I
do have a
love that.
domain for Soul Journey, but it's just not attached to Shopify. Like it's just a whole ordeal.
Okay.
But yeah,
You'll
all is
get
well.
there.
And yeah, but just find us on Instagram. I find that to be what are they called? It's like a visual thing about how we live, like a
Yeah.
visual resume now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, just send me a message and we'll connect. Yeah, if you want to tell your business, I am all ears because I absolutely love that. Like I'm just in here for, and if you want ideas, I am your
Which is the
gal.
perfect job for somebody sitting in a jump seat. For me, it was the obvious. I'm like, okay, now I'm depressed. Now,
No, I mean, I love it. Jumpsuit therapy has saved me
yeah.
so many times, and I
Oh,
felt like I have helped people, but I don't have an open emotional solar plexus like
yeah.
you do. I can't
Yeah.
even imagine. Like
Oh,
if I translated how I feel with my open head into my emotions, I can
uh-huh.
see how that would
Uh-huh.
be so harmful to your health. Like
Well,
I could
plus then I
totally
need
see
to
that.
solve everyone's problems with my phone.
Yes.
I'm like, well, let me solve all of your problems while we're sitting here for 3 hours. And then I'm going to
Yeah.
be mad at you because you don't think
If
that
you
what
don't
I'm
do
telling
it.
you is
Yeah.
correct.
Mm, yes, indeed.
So
But
just don't talk to me.
yeah, no, you're so funny. Yeah, so it's all good though. But I just love I really love deep conversations. I do have a hard time with small talk. I'd still
Mm-hmm.
do it, but he does,
Surface. Yeah.
yes, but he doesn't feel juicy to me. And I know the difference. So
Yes.
yeah, so that's
I'm the
why.
same. Like I love like people naturally sit and tell me all of their things and I love it because it's given me a really good perspective on why we do what we do. Like I'm always
Yes.
like, well, I wonder what her childhood was like. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, what
Oh
is
my
her
God,
mother
me
like?
too.
And so I love that part of it.
Yeah.
It's just me having to create that boundary of expectation with my um five of that
Yes.
I don't have to you can tell me all your stuff, but I'm not solving your problems. And with my business, I've had to really get to a place where I'm like, yeah, I'm not for everybody.
Yes.
You could because you're going to hear the truth and it may be ugly and but guess what? You're going to see change because
Yes.
it's let's just get it over with, right?
Yeah.
So it's not gentle. Sometimes.
You're so funny.
Anyways,
No, it's all good though. But I think, yeah, we're for the people that needs it and for the people that want it. I mean, we're here for you. Absolutely. We love all of this. I absolutely love human design. I wish everyone would do it or at least try it, experiment.
mm-hmm.
I have not met one person that has not been given the information and feel like it helped in a small to very meaningful way. So,
Agreed. There's
yes.
always some kind of resonance where they're like, "Oh my gosh, I was
Yes.
just yeah." So I love it. Okay,
Yes.
well,
So,
thank you for being here. We could go on for probably 6 more hours, but you've got
yes, we
stuff to
could.
do, and so do I. But I will have you back for sure. I think it'd be fun to just do excerpts here and there about things we've learned or
Yes.
even different designs we could do. So we'll be
Yes, I
back
would
for
love to.
more.
Yes,
But
thank you for
thank you
having
so
me.
much, Julietta. Yes, anytime. I can't wait for the next time. And we will see you all later. Thank you so much for being here. Please be sure if you have anyone in your life that you think would benefit from this information, share it. Reach out to Julietta or to me, whatever. We
Mhm.
do very different things with human design. So it's who
Yes,
you resonate with. It's not, there is no
absolutely.
competition here. She is going to be lovey and motherly and gentle with you, and I am not. I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
I'm not sure. I'm not so sure about that. But
I got that in me a little bit.
we are here for you. So,
We
thank you
are.
so
And
much for having me.
yes, and thanks everybody for watching. Please comment, share what you think. Tell us your designs. Tell us your all about your design in the comments because that just gets us out there in front of more people. And we really truly love sharing this with people. Like
Yeah.
for I could do this for free because I love it so much. So,
Yes,
okay.
absolutely.
All right. We'll see y'all
Take
next
care.
time. Bye-bye.
Bye.